So there is good news amidst the bad.
And just a final question, if I may. I'm aware that there are some political actors who would probably rename this committee the Net Stupid Zero Committee, something that I would strongly resist. But in a serious point, there is a change in moods and the way we discuss issues around climate and net zero. What's the best advice that you could give to politicians and governments who are faced with these challenges about how we continue to develop evidence-based policy and action to counter some of these political slogans that have been developing?
Yeah, well, I can't give you advice on the politics of it, but in terms of the communication, I think obviously the starting point here is that the science here is real. The climate does not care what people say. It obeys the laws of physics, not the laws of man. And therefore, sooner or later, action to achieve net zero is inevitable because the cost of not doing so will simply become overwhelming. And, the climate cannot be fought. So, I think the starting point always has to be the science, and the science is unambiguous. But I do think there is an important point here in getting over to households, the opportunities here, the fact that an electric car, is rapidly getting to the point where it'll be cheaper to buy, it's much cheaper to run, it's cheaper to maintain, it's actually a much easier vehicle to drive. There are big kind of benefits from that. Again, heat pumps, whilst there are these upfront costs, so it's important that there's government support, but again, these are cheaper to run, potentially considerably so if we get this electricity pricing right. They don't emit pollutants into the home where your children are playing. There are big advantages of these technologies, and there are job opportunities. Here, there are job opportunities installing heat pumps. There are job opportunities in, renewable electricity, particularly within Scotland, with technologies like carbon capture and storage. So, there are a lot of very important positives for this. We're essentially replacing a series of obsolete technologies with better, more efficient, cleaner, and certainly in the long run, cheaper technology. And those ought to be things that, you can have a conversation with households about. I think people understand that, the old gets replaced by the new. Sometimes there's a cost to doing that, but you capture the benefits. And I think people also understand that, we have to pass on a planet to our children that is habitable.
Thank you. On that hopeful note, I'll hand back to the convener.